Hi there, welcome to Neppy Invests. So in this video, I'm going to talk about Elmo, unfortunately not the Muppet, but Elmo, the cloud human resources and payroll software services company. So I did buy Elmo a few years back and I was very disappointed that I did not buy a stake in a puppet, or a Muppet, I should say. So I think a Muppet is a cross between a mop and a puppet. I believe that was Homer Simpson who said that. But anyway, Elmo has been around for a few years. Market cap's around 450 to 500 million dollars, so it is a sort of a SaaS company, so it's going to be a little valued a little bit more than other companies. I don't believe it's profitable. Negative cash flow at the moment, but it does have something like $70 million in annual recurring revenue, which is quite good. So let's have a look at Elmo's Appendix 4C for October 2020. So here it is. Receipts from customers, $15.6 million. So if they do have annual recurring revenue of 70, that means that's getting up there towards that number. So that's sort of what you'd expect. As you can see, they actually are burning cash because even though it says positive operating cash flow of 2.012 million, they did get or almost $3 million in government grants and tax incentives. So if you take that away, they burn cash to the tune of about $1 million. But they are occasionally cash flow positive some of their quarters, so they're hovering around that level. Their receipts history, and this is exactly what you want to see with history of receipts, a general trend upwards. And you can see there's hits and misses here. You can see from April 19 to July 19, it went up from 9.5 to 15.5, and then it went back to 12 million. So that's just sort of what you would expect. You wouldn't expect cash receipts to go up in a straight line. You'd expect some hits and some misses. But if you take July 19 to October 20, 15.5 to 15.6, it's sort of gone sideways. So some people, some investors actually will do that. They'll look at those two numbers and say, well, cash receipts aren't going up. And that's really silly because the trend is up. You've got to look at the whole period and the trend is definitely up. And I'm not kidding when I say that. Some people will do that. They will just look at those two quarters and say it's cash receipts aren't going up. I see this and hear this all the time. They do have a lot of cash on hand, so $130.4 million of cash on hand. So what management do with that cash is going to be quite important for the future. More than likely, I'd say it's going to go towards acquisitions, and companies like this are acquisition hungry. Maybe not hungry, but they do like to see opportunities to acquire businesses. And they also reaffirmed their financial year 21 guidance. So they are expecting annual recurring revenue to be between 72.5 and 78.5. So I'll just say $75 million, which if you take sort of 10 times that, which will be $750 million market cap. So it is slightly undervalued compared to sort of a metric some people you say is you should times annual recurring revenue by 10 times to get sort of an idea what the market cap can be. But it's sort of a generalization because you're not looking at growth of annual recurring revenue. And revenue between 61 and 66, and still EBITDA negative, which is sort of a proxy here for cash flow. Not an exact proxy, but that's what I do use if they don't give that sort of guidance. Chart-wise, so this is a 3-year weekly chart. So they IPO'd in mid-June 2017, and really for the first 8-9 months of their existence on the ASX, we did see the share price appreciate quite a bit from just over $2 and all the way up to about $7. So that's when I did own it at some point in there, and I never got my Elmo in the mail. But since then, since early 2018, share price hasn't done much at all. So it's reached a peak around $8 a few times. That seems to be a bit of a resistance there at $8. Once it gets there, it looks like there's a bit of selling. And then it's reached a trough or a low point of around $4 during COVID-19 panic. But if you take that away, around about $5 or just below $5 would be a good time to buy. And it reached there a few weeks ago around that $5 mark, and then it bounced off quite well off that $5. So that just shows you that is a bit of support there. When people see it hit $5, they start to buy in. So right now it's $5.58, so not only 10% above that $5 range. So if you do see this get around $5, maybe it's a good time to buy, sort of a range trade buy. That's what you would call this. Buy at 5 and sell if the share price gets to 8. And what you'd like to see in the future for a long-term uptrend is the share price get above 8 and stay above 8. So that's not going to be happening for a while. So I am following this company quite closely because I think it does have a good future in it. But at the moment, the share price, because it's not really doing much, I'm just going to leave it on my watch list and just watch the share price every now and then and see what it's doing. And if it gets down to, say, below $4 or so, that would be bad, because that would be sort of a new low or a multi-year low. And if it gets above 8, that's when you could buy. That's sort of weird if you think about it. Below 4 would be a sell or not a good hold, and above 8 would be when you buy. But that's sort of what happens when you look at technicals and sentiment. Value investor would be look at it a little bit differently. They'll put a value on a company, and if it gets towards that value, regardless of share price action, that's when they do a buy. So I am a value investor at times, so but other times I'm not. And with Elmo, it's hard to really put a really distinct value on it, but it's definitely not a value play unless it gets to like $1.50 or something like that. It will never get to that unless it goes broke. But anyway, I do like Elmo, but I'm not a holder at the moment. So that's all I've got on Elmo, the great Muppet. Is it a red Muppet? Yeah. But yeah, so if you do need any sort of advice, don't take it from me. Make sure you seek out a professional to get that advice. I'm just doing these videos for 3 reasons: educational, what's the other 2? Entertainment and research purposes. And that's all I've got for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day. I'll talk to you later.